Count of Ndabangulu, we've got the district director. We'll take them in your own accord. We've got parents, we'll take them in your own accord. We'll start with you, Mr. Nomapunga, and then we'll give it to the MC.
Alright, babukeli be-Informa Digital TV, sisuka ngaphakathi ke ngoku kwinkundla zamatyala apha kule dolophu yaseTabankulu. Njengoba besinithembisile sathi sizobuya ke sinixelele into kokubana ingaba kwenzeke ntona esingakutsho ke into kokubana wena mntu ungevanga into kokubana uMantyi uye wazi excuse kwelityala ebeka isizathu ke sento kokubana uyamazi umtyholwa ongutata uZibi nokube nguprincipal ke kwisikolo iBhonxa Senior Secondary School novele apha kule nkundla ngetyala okanye ngezithyolo zokudlwengula. Ngoku ke sinaye uMEC wesebe lezemfundo apha ecaleni kwethu. Niyakhumbula ke emini nje ubeke wathetha nabafundi. MEC masikwamkele kwi-Informa.
Masibulele msasazi, sibulele nabaphulaphuli.
MEC into endifuna uyibuza nje into kokubana in your life okanye kwixesha lakho njengomphathiswa wake wadibana nanomcimbi ongathi extreme ngolhlobo extreme in the sense that abafundi benika ireport kubaphathi bezemfundo nakwi-politicians yento eyenzekayo kwesasikolo bade bathi khe kubekho amaxesha oba abafundi belwa ngenxa yento kokubana belwela iititshala abathandana nazo, abanye besithi bayabonwa besela utywala apha edolophini. Le meko ithanda ubambi kakhulu. How do you feel, mphathiswa?
Ndingatsho into bana siyafunda ngokuye kuhamba ixesha. Yenye ye-lessons endicinga uba urhulumente will have to look to it very closely, this one. One is that uba uyayiqaphela le case is getting more complex day in, day out. Njengoba besisiza apha nje, we are gathering also through the intelligence work we are doing that there are more witnesses coming up front now, which begins to give us more space to deal with the matter decisively. But again, apha ngaphakathi uyafumanisa uba uMantyi uyaz-excuser because of the complexity of the case itself now, which then gives us a space as government to patch ourselves. So that's why in the city ndiyavumelana nawe, ndiyavumelana nabamameli nababukeli be-digital TV that the matter is becoming more complex and izafuna abantu abazinzileyo ngokwasengqondweni and izafuna abantu abazinzileyo ngokokucinga and izafuna abantu abakwaziyo ukumela umcimbi nobana kubi kangakanani na kuwe.
I know into kokubana uMantyi bengakwazi nobukhona anyway apha kodwa ingaba mhlawumbe kwiimeko ezinje niyaxoxa ne-departments police no justice can ibona sikuba into lento ngathi yakhula. How can you deal with it?
That's one reason that makes me to be here, to be precise. As a sitting MEC, aba bantwana bonke bakwezi zikolo zonke ezilapha eprovincini, they have got one parent, and that parent is myself. Once they get into the school, the South African Schools Act kicks in. By extension, it means their parent is myself. Now, i-duty yam ke ngoku mna njengo-MEC intoba how do I make sure that that parenting happens? So they can't be vulnerable whilst defended by law in terms of the South African Schools Act. So that's why I am here to check and balance whether the provisions in terms of the Act are able to respond when there is a problem. That's one. Two, again, how do we deal with the issue ebonakala ngathi ifuna ngumcelimngeni general in the country ye-gender-based violence and femicide, sexual harassments within the sector now, this case, so that you can defend abantwana babantu at all cost. Because if awuyenze loo nto ndingakuqinisekisisa intoba in a way very soon you are going to have a declaration of no confidence of the public to the public institutions. Because
mseyinto ba makanikwe nje 7 days ukuze akwazi ukulungisa lanto yaphaya kuBhonxa. How far have you gone?
Uphuma kwam apha ngo 1 o'clock namhlanje. Already I've met the teachers zesasikolo because interest yam ibikukujonga into yokuba beyond this rape case there must be life there. Ngabantwana babantu abaya funeka benobomi, ngabantwana babantu ekuinvestiweyo kumakwabo emfundweni. So we can't have a school that is closed on the basis of this case. We must find a way of how do we deal with this case, how do we ensure that we discipline those that are found wrongly in any way. But equally, how do you begin to ensure that ubomi babantwana at all cost is being defended? So sesiqalile ki process by next week on this week. By this week on Wednesday, stakeholders of that institutions are sitting to define a way forward in terms of defending the future yabantwana babantu. I've already engaged abatishala abahleli pha district office ndobana anifanelanga banilapha nina nifanele banisesikolweni and funeka kukhangelwe indlela yoba nibuyela njani esikolweni. How do you correct yourselves in some of the things? As I'm departing here today, I must meet the chairperson of the SGB also to discuss into yoba kule ntlanganiso yabo yangoLwesithathu, how are they going to ensure that badefend ubomi babantwana babantu, and how do they ensure that that school is operational. Abantwana bafanele babheka ku-winter schools ngoku bapreparishela i-media exams. Some of them have not written examination papers. So as a department, we must have a backup examination timetable now because of this case. So in essence, this case has not just damaged esasikolo, but damaged the future yababantwana, because ababantwana abanye babo are doing grade 12 and ababhalanga abanye babo. So ungabhali kum as an MEC i-examinations zika June ufana nomntana ongcwatywe ehleli, because kum ezona results is serious zezika June kunezika December, because ezi results zabantwana zika June zizo aba-aplayisha ngazo e-university, not ezika November and December. So that's why I always argue kotishala into yobana make sure that school-based assessment is 150% correct. Make sure that examinations of May and June are 150% correct, because they determine the entry point of the tertiary institution for these learners to be candidates. So you can't say abantwana mabapase ngoNovember, abazupasa ngoNovember funa bapase ngoMay, not ngoNovember, so that they can apply now and get spaces in universities, in TVET colleges now, not in November.
All right, colleagues, before ndisiya kumeya ingaba sikhona questions nako MEC?
Number 2, are you promising on the 24th of June you are going to be here?
Ndingatsho into yokubana ndi-comfortable kakhulu. In fact, I'm very excited. I'm very excited not because the case has been postponed, but by the genuinity that the judicial system is taking on this case. Because it has got serious implications in the kwale case, kukho izinto that are in question. So I take my hat off for that magistrate, for having considered to excuse himself if he has got either way anything that has got to do with the accused. So ndimthulela umnqwazi kuloo nto, because usenza thina singurhulumente sibe ne-confidence engummangaliso kwi-judiciary. That's one. Okwesibini, ndi-comfortable kuba le case has got a stature that must be a learning curve to almost all of us in the country. Because you can't count people okanye abantwana babantu as statistics of rape. We can't. So this matter must stop as early as yesterday. So that's why I am happy that he has found it odd that we can proceed today, so that we can go back to the drawing board, also as judiciary, as an arm of judicial governments. Go back to the drawing board, bajonge into yobana bangenza kanjani na uqiniseka into yobana le case yenziwa kakuhle. Ndingatsho into yobana ngoLwesihlanu kangangokuba ndingomnye owabantu ababhizi apha ephondweni, ndinabantwana abayi-6 ebefana uba ndiyabangcwaba basendamase, the former called Buntingville, on Friday. So I had that appointment with that community to go and bury those kids. That is why I was saying earlier on, as part of the intelligence work that we're doing and also as part of our own internal investigations on the matter, it has come to our attention that there are other witnesses coming too on this particular matter. By extension from the learners, by extension trying to expose that there were other incidents that were happening, not on the basis of that as well. But of course, I can confirm that he has written a letter, of course advised, it's obvious, advised by his lawyers to resign in the department. I have turned that thing down, for one reason. Once you allow an employee of government resigning during the course of the proceeding of disciplinary process, you are then killing the case, because that individual now will come back tomorrow as a South African citizen, not as an employee of government. So you are not going to be able to discipline him tomorrow because he's not your employee in terms of the legislations and laws of this country. So you must not approve the resignation up until the internal disciplinary matters and this one has been concluded, so that you don't compromise either the departmental internal disciplinary processes and as well the judiciary that is currently underway, because they have got a dual role to play on this particular case. So allowing a resignation is suicidal, not to anyone, but to government's integrity on the case itself.
One follow-up.
Okay, ebese kukhona i-class and SGB kwi-first appearance uba kukhona otitshala abayi-5 from same school aba-accuswa uba bayasexualisa abantwana baye bathandana nabantwana niyifumanele leyo nto
Of the policy in basic education. You can't have a learner in basic education that is 25-year-old. So it's a structural problem that government must accept, that the absence of a TVET, because those kids of 20 in the TVET colleges, because now you have got a school that will never be stable in terms of stability and discipline, because you are mixing up age cohorts psychologically that are not supposed to be mixed up. So beyond this case, we'll have to go back to the drawing board as government and say, what lessons have we learned out of the Boka case itself? As government now, not as education. Because I'm saying to you, even if that accused can be sentenced by tomorrow, still you will have a problem because of how structural the school is being it. So hence I'm saying the overaged learners are supposed to be in the TVET colleges, not in high schools. And that absence now of TVET colleges is the one that is exposing us. So that the question of discipline, because once you have got a 25-year-old doing grade 11 or 12, umuntu omdala moslo. So uyabathemta nabo abatishala in a way. Uyabathemta nabo abatishala in a way. So that's why xa umamela phanga phakathi already sekune affidavit ethi lamntana una 21 years. Uyazi uthetha ukuthini la? Ithetha ukuthi ufuna ukuthi angomntana sikolo lowa. Uya apha pha yakhona la gqwetha lalamntu. Uba engomntana sikolo lona because una 21 years. But fortunately for us, the law covers them. In this instance, where is a student, South African schools, vocational schooling system.
How do you feel? I know into kokubana ukhe wazama noku-organize isikolo se-agriculture, but I want you into obukuphefumle ngezi statements guys.
There is a satellite. It's just that yile yokuncedisa i-curriculum yaphaya izokwazi ukukhavarisha also yonke lento esicingela uba fanele uba inecessary uba mayibe khona phaya. And also ke singumasipala zinintsi meetings eselike sazibamba no-Minister of Higher Education and Training. Ndithetha nje zikhona ii-sitters ezike zafika apha eNtabankulu, including CEOs of different sitters ebezikhona apha. Sesinayo ne-site eseyine-council resolution kamasipala where that agricultural college will be built. But ke ngoku what is important is to also integrate this thinking that we have to accommodate as learners for a finishing school, because lena besixoxa ngayo, it was designed for a special curriculum ebenayo ibi-infonywa zizi-statistics zethu ezithi singumasipala osezilalini sicingela into yoba sine-potential ngokuka-LED kulo mcimbi we-agriculture. But ke ngoku to complement that, have an agricultural college so that ingabi rhetoric, ube nabantwana bazokwazi ukuyifundela bakwazi ukuncedisana ke ngoku nokubuild i-economy kamasipala. Because as we speak cannabis and all of those things, but we need to train aba bantu who are indigenous growers of that cannabis in a formalized way. Ndizama ukuthi ke sezi-advanced ezo ngxoxo. So i-contribution ka-MEC ke ukuncedisa i-voice yethu phaa kuminister ingancedisa kakhulu ukwenzela into yoba ikwazi ufast trackeka ibe khona so that we attend to all of these challenges that we are facing currently.
Ungumuntu ongumama kule nto ye-GBV kukhona omama who are supporting amadoda
Apho